Hello and welcome to Grey Matters, the channel that promotes the fact that the older generation still matters and has relevance, and which looks at issues that matter to the older generation. Now, hopefully you've seen our current You're Nicked edition of Grey Matters, and normally I wouldn't put out another one quite this quickly, but as days pass, more and more information and commentary is coming to light that makes the Online Safety Act and the formation of what's been described as an elite police squad that's been formed to shut us down ever more worrying. And when I say us, I don't mean just YouTube creators, I mean everybody. And incidentally, one definition of elite reads as a group or class of persons considered to be superior to others. Well, as far as I'm concerned, superiority is only ever in the mind of the so-called superior person. And of course, those people that they consider to be below them and who they've successfully convinced are of a lower standing. No one is superior to me, you, or anyone else for that matter. They might have more power over you, such as the government and the police, and they can certainly make life pretty miserable for you. But that doesn't make them superior. Anyway, the official title for this squad is the National Internet Intelligence Investigations Team, the NITS. I think I'll call them the Tinternet Intelligent Team, and I'm sure you can work that one out for yourself. Now, the Act contains a dreadful catalogue of content and activity that this Orwellian government has decided is illegal. Let's take a look. Quite rightfully, it includes child sexual abuse, extreme sexual violence, promoting suicide, things like that. And in many cases, those are physical acts that were illegal before this legislation came into being. But look at that bit with the red box around it. Illegal immigration and people smuggling. And my thanks to GB News and Reason, from whom I nicked that graphic. Now, in our current video, I mentioned that this clause, if you like, was included, but here it is in black and white. Now, let's take a look at that top line. The kinds of illegal content and activity that platforms need to protect users from are set out in the Act, and this includes content relating to, and then you get the list, which includes illegal immigration and people smuggling. My God. So without notice, or maybe even proper procedures being followed, I don't know, content of any sort relating to illegal immigration and people smuggling is now illegal. So when did that happen? How did that happen? Who decided it was illegal? And obviously the bill went through Parliament, and maybe most MPs just blindly nodded it through without actually reading it, and without realising actually that what they were about to make illegal. They're going to make illegal discussion and comment about what is currently the single most important issue in the land. It has effectively shut down any discussion about it. But it has also shut down discussion and debate about all those other examples of content. So, content relating to. So we're not even allowed to discuss online things like fraud or people inciting violence. Doesn't mean we want to promote them, but our rights to discuss them shouldn't be removed. And I believe there's another huge reason why this legislation has been enacted. And it's to stop the opposition parties and their supporters, voters and members from debating and commenting on this government's performance in those areas. It has shut down what should be our lawful democratic right to hold the government to account. And those spineless Tories who helped vote this through will soon find out that they've shot themselves in the foot when the election time approaches. And their voters, who have no parliamentary privilege whatsoever, can't challenge online the government's effectiveness in dealing with, well, the migrant crisis, for example. Now, as a country, we're now a laughingstock. I mean, particularly in the States, where free speech is enshrined in law. Viewing their newscast, you'll find that everyone, it seems, is incredulous about what's happening here worldwide. Australia not so much, because they've got their own version due to pass into law in December. And let's face it, the EU would love to shut down all their dissenters too. Now, incredibly, Ofcom, who it seems to fully support censorship in all the areas for which it has responsibility, in an arrogant example of total overreach, has allegedly written to all the American social media platforms, ordering them to censor content and threatening them with fines and even arrest here in the UK. Again, I say allegedly, although I've no reason to doubt the lawyer who represents them all, because he's basically told Ofcom to do one. And he sent their letters to the White House. Probably don't want to mess about with this particular incumbent at the White House, I would suggest. These platforms are all American owned, they're based in America with their servers in America, and they are therefore protected by their First Amendment right, where no one, not local officials, not the police, not even the president, can stop you talking about anything. Now, the Online Safety Act should protect children, but it doesn't, does it? They know how to circumvent age verification via VPNs, and that will leave them wandering around the internet with no safety net at all. And what about all those adults who want to access their favourite fan forum or legitimate photo sharing forum without having to provide a face scan? And VPNs are all very well. I mean, you can leave them on, but many of the sites you visit regularly won't recognise you, and you'll have to jump through hoops to access them. I mean, annoyingly, Amazon will divert you to the Amazon site for the country your VPN's using, and that leaves you with having to leave the VPN off really until you need it. Now, I reckon this is the time to buy shares in your favourite VPN company because, wow, you're going to make a killing, aren't you? I reckon so. One online commentator has said that the government is treating us all like children, and that's true. The MP behind the Australian online safety bill has likened it to children floundering about in the sea with all its dangers like riptides and sharks, instead of in the safety of a swimming pool. And the response to that analogy was that it was down to parents to ensure kids learned how to swim, how to navigate riptides and keep themselves safe, instead of not being allowed in the sea. And that's pretty much spot on, isn't it? Instead of inconveniencing every single internet user in the UK, teach the under 18s how to stay safe online. Make it part of the curriculum. Have tests and exams on the subject. But of course, if the government does that, then they can't use the Act to suppress freedom of expression too, which we all know really what's behind this. And I wonder if anyone has the courage to organise a peaceful protest in London. I mean, let's face it, if 64,000 people can make the effort to attend the parade and welcome home of the magnificent lionesses, you'd think something as important as this should be able to attract a decent attendance. The organisers, though, would have to take on massive risk assessments to ensure it isn't disrupted. But you know, I can't imagine there are any factions out there that would want to cause trouble over a protest like that. And we definitely need an Online Safety Act. We do need to keep children safe, but we also need to educate and help them without having to legislate for it. But however, whatever we need in terms of legislation, in my opinion, this isn't it. Well, I mean, okay, this could be the last Grey Matters if the Internet investigation team comes knocking at my door, because this content mentions the words illegal migration and people smuggling. And of course, my joke about their acronym will probably get them into trouble for offending them. I just have to hope that the judiciary has a little more common sense than the Kim Jong-un fan club based at Westminster. Well, as always, thank you for joining us. Do leave your comments below. You've got plenty to say in our current video, the You're Nicked one, and there'll be a link to that on the end screen, so do please give it a watch if you've not seen it. Also, let's give us a like and please subscribe to get more riveting content like this. In the meantime, guys, thank you very much for joining us. And until the next time, if there is a next time, is bye for now.